Welcome to the Create, Connect, Convert.co podcast, where big dreams and bold moves come to life. If you are an innovative, legacy-driven female business owner or entrepreneur who's here to grow, glow, and get it done, this podcast is for you. This isn't just another business podcast. Oh no, here we've got four powerhouse women, each bringing a unique flavor of expertise to help you sharpen your brand, build profits, and bring that much desired freedom to your life. It's like having four mentors in your pocket. We're here to laugh, to get real, and to remind you that business is meant to be fulfilling, fun, and full of possibilities. So wherever you are today, grab this moment and fuel your creativity, because Create, Connect, Convert.co is here to help you build the business and a life you've been working for.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Create, Connect, Convert.co podcast. My name is Regina Garay. I will be hosting you today. I'm super excited to be here with these three lovely ladies. We have a tremendous episode for you today. We're going to talk about marketing collaborations. Woo! All right, I get very excited about those. So before we start, I'm going to have each of you introduce yourselves and just throw it to the next person. Laura, let's start with you.
So I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success, helping leaders that want to make an impact in the world to create the brand communications piece that will align with the work that they are doing and connect with the audience that they are meant to serve. And how about you? Go ahead, Christy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christy Crippen, virtual administrator and founder of Collaborative Partners Administrative Services. My mission in life is to help overwhelmed entrepreneurs and small business owners to take their overwhelm and turn it into feelings of overjoyed in their everyday. And we do that through coaching. We do that through collaboration, productivity, time management, accountability, and so much more. Carolyn, close us out.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Choate, and I really like helping people get more out of their online presence, being able to actually understand what is my website doing for me, how can I get people to my website, how can I sell things there. So just streamlining that, making it simpler for people. That covers it, I think.
Thank you, Carolyn. And my name is Regina Garay. I am a digital marketing manager and educator. I primarily work in the interior design and construction fields. And basically what I do is help you manage your marketing or teach you how to manage your marketing. So do it for you or teach you. And marketing is on the docket for today. We're going to talk about collaborations. And we're going to talk about three specific aspects of collaborations. The first one is finding. The second one is what exactly do you do? And the third is establishing parameters for this collaboration. So the first part, let's hit the first part, finding the right collaborators. Now, as you can tell, we are actually a marketing collaboration where we came together to create, Create, Connect, Convert.co. And I personally, I don't know about the rest of you, but I am a solopreneur. However, I work very well with teams, and I love working with others, putting things together. And the bonus is that you key into other people's audiences too, of those that you work. So why don't we start with you, Laura? How would you find the right collaborators to do different things in your business?
And thank you for that, Regina. I love that you're really talking about the collaboration piece today, because I think that is so important, especially for solopreneurs, because a lot of times we feel very alone in our businesses, and we still want to have that standalone piece. And yet when we can join forces with someone else, you're absolutely right? It gives us access to their audience as well. So one of the things that I always look for when when people either approach me for collaboration or I approach them for collaboration is, number one, are we serving the same or similar audience? Do they have different followers than what I do that I might want to be able to connect with? Mm-hmm. How can I serve their audience in a different capacity than what they're able to, and yet our work complements one another. So I think that's what I'm always looking for in a collaboration. How does our work complement one another? And are our audiences similar in how we can actually cross promote and serve that audience in a more deeper and intentional way?
I love that. I love that. So key. Christy, I know that you work, not only are you have a small business, but you also work with other small businesses. How do you see collaborations happening? How do they find and how do you find the right collaborators?
Mm. I look at it, I talk about energy a lot.
Hmm.
And for me, that certainly absolutely applies in this situation. Uh, the reality is that there are some people that we are meant to work with, and there are some that we are just not. And it's not right or wrong, it just is. And I think it's really about trusting your gut, trusting your intuition in terms of, is this the right fit for me? What is my involvement going to be time-wise if I go down this path? Do I have the bandwidth, the time, not just the time bandwidth, but also the energetic and emotional bandwidth to commit myself in this endeavor, whatever that endeavor happens to be.
I
Hmm.
love that. I love that because we do speak with people, different people. I recently spoke to a fellow small business owner that I absolutely love. And then we were like, let's do something together. And then when we came through it and we were developing it, we're like, this is going to take so much energy from us and away from our own businesses. And so that you have to find the right ones that you're willing to give that energy and donate some of the energy that would have gone to your business too, even though you're kind of building your business as well. Carolyn, I'm going to go to you. We're going to start talking about some. Did you have anything to add to the finding? Any other things or?
Yeah, I think Laura's point about finding the people that are serving the same audience as you is really key.
Mhm. And what about that brings up a follow-up question for me. What about, so you're not considering competition if you're going into the same audience?
You have to make sure that it's complementary services and that this other person isn't doing exactly the same thing as you.
Mhm.
We generally try not to focus on fear and competition, but I mean, to be a little bit practical, look at how do we serve the same audience in different ways? Does one of us kind of have a service that comes first and then can easily lead into the next person?
Yeah.
And this is an aspect of website traffic too that, I'm researching for this book about ways to bring people to your offerings. And like of my four pillars, one of them is networking, affiliates, collaboration, working with people like this, because they call it borrowing an audience, and it can be so, so, so powerful because you've got not only the audience that needs what you have somebody endorsing you, someone that they trust saying, "Hey, I also trust this person." So it can be huge.
Love that. Love that. Because I always think that sometimes when people think about collaborations, they always think, oh, it's competition.
Mm.
I know so many people that do what I do, maybe different audiences, target small businesses that we work with. But they are some of my closest friends, and we talk a lot with each other about, oh, what's this tool or what's that tool or so I always try to not think competition, but think even if it's not a collaboration, it's a peer that you can run things by. All right, we're going to segue into creative partnership ideas. One of the biggest ones, I'm just going to tell you guys. I was at a conference and this gentleman was speaking, and he gave a creative collaboration idea that I was like, oh my goodness, that's perfect. So the setup was that it was a paint store and he was a painter. And so he spoke with somebody who did tile, and he spoke with another business that beautifies homes. And the three of them got together. They were not direct competition. So there wasn't another painter, there wasn't another tile setter, there wasn't another cabinetry company. The three of them came together and they set up a presentation at the paint store, and they brought in a social media expert to speak to interior designers, who is one of their target audiences. So the interior designers were sent out an invitation. Hey, show up here at 7 p.m. You're going to learn about how to do, and they set up tables for their business. So the interior designers came in, they learned social media, and they also got to meet the person, the tile company, the painter, and the cabinetry expert, and they found new trades to work with. And so it was a win-win for everybody. The paint store had people coming into their store. The social media expert was speaking to their target audience. The interior designers were actually interested in that presentation on social media, and the three companies that put it together had new interior designers referring them work. So it was like this gorgeous collaboration, and that was just like, wow, that's how people can work together. So Carolyn, let's talk about other ideas for creative partnerships. What other ideas can people do if they're not doing things like that?
I am a big fan of affiliate codes where you can set up so that somebody who refers you to their business, they get a little commission or some kind of benefit.
Mhm.
Just gives them a little extra incentive to really push their audience a little bit. And the other thing is like having people guest spot. If you have a podcast, obviously, you can have someone on as a guest, or you can pitch podcasts and say, can you have me on as a guest? But even if it's like, can you write a guest blog post? Can you write a little blurb for the newsletter about your specialty? A lot of authors do like newsletter swaps and similar thing where you promote someone else's book and they're promoting yours.
I love that because that's like low key collaborations. It doesn't require a lot from you energetically. It's not like a whole new thing, but it's very effective for
Mhm.
your business. Laura, what other ways? What have you done that collaborations have come across for you?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we look at it as an opportunity, right, is to promote speaking, but speaking is a collaboration, right? Think about it from the perspective of showing up for an audience, right? You're collaborating with the event planner, the person who's organizing the speaking of, this speaking opportunity. They're sharing you with their audience, and in exchange, you're showing up for them. Right. So there's that collaboration is big. So I think, if you enjoy public speaking, if you have a platform that or something, a topic that you love to speak on, because I love to speak on stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it's
And
like
you're good at
my
it.
wheelhouse, right? I love it. So I think, that's to me is a beautiful collaboration because number one, you're bringing credibility when you show up for that speaking opportunity and you do a good job, right? It actually highlights the person that brought you in, right? You were actually helping them to improve their standing in that arena where they're actually working. So helping them in that collaboration. So I think that's a big piece. That was what really popped into my head when you were asking about collaborations. Like a lot of people don't think about speaking as collaboration, but it really is. And it's that partnership with you and the event planner, whoever invited you in to speak. So I think that's a beautiful collaboration. Another collaboration is just the opportunity to share your content on someone else's platform, right? Whether it's, I love having guest blogs on my blog page, and I love providing, blog content for other people, or showing up on someone's podcast. Right. That I think that's beautiful too, is being able to be on someone else's podcast. That's one of the things that I say on LinkedIn. I'm a really great podcast guest. Right. So it's like
You are.
that's
I
part of my
heard you and
LinkedIn,
I'm like,
you know.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. People think I'm a podcaster. Well, now technically I am, but before I was, they would reach out to me like, can we get on your podcast? I'm like, I don't have a podcast, not yet. But yeah, I think it's really important to let people know that you're a good guest, and you will help them grow their audience by sharing the fact that you've been on their podcast. So I think that's important too.
And you can also take that a step further. And if you like public speaking, you find somebody else who likes public speaking, you can teach a webinar together or, do a presentation together as well. I do that with my Canva classes, with Jessica Whitehouse. She's my
Mhm.
co-teacher and colleague, and we just get each other and you find those strengths like you were saying. Christy, find those strengths that work with each other and find that energy with the right person and just go forward. So if public speaking is something that's scary for you, maybe find somebody that can help you bolster that confidence and you both tackle it kind of together. So,
Mm.
Christy, I'm going to segue into the third part of this, which is communicating expectations. Because how how would you work with a collaborator? What kind of boundaries would you put together? How do you deal with any issues that might come up?
Mm. Oh boy, boundaries. Um, that is such a big, big, big landscape. Um, and
I
on a side
with the
note,
big one.
ooh, I love it. No, I love it. It's like these Barbara Walters questions. I love it. Um, on a side note to our wonderful audience, there's a wonderful woman I follow. Her name is Terry Cole. You can find her at terrycole.com. She teaches all about boundaries. It's Terri is how she spells her first name. Um, and I think when it comes to that, when it comes to the expectations, it's like anything in life. Like if you were going to redo your kitchen, you would want to know, okay, what am I getting myself into in terms of the cost, in terms of the time commitment, in terms of, oh, are we going to gut the whole thing and literally go down to the studs, or are we going to reface the cabinets? Are we just going to swap out the appliances? So it's really like you've got to peel back those layers and get down to the heart of the matter and say, okay, what are the established time frames? Know exactly what you're doing and when, who's doing what. Is it something that individually that person is doing? Are they going to send it to you for feedback? Um, are are you going to be partnering with that person? Because the reality is, if you are if you need to get something to somebody else and you have this deadline looming, you have to get it to them in plenty of time so that they can have the time to work on it on their end, no matter what that looks like. Um, Getting things last minute, not good. And it's we all understand that things come up in life, but you want to have ample time to be able to navigate each piece and to do it seamlessly and feel comfortable and confident and have that clarity as you work. So for me, I think it's asking those questions. It's laying the outline. It's making sure everybody involved is committed to this outline and sticking to it.
I love that. I love that. And even circling back to what Carolyn was saying, let's say it's an affiliate program, being even very clear with people, this is how much you're going to get if you refer somebody to me. Even down to those details. Because if you're like, yeah, I'll give you a fee or something, and then it's less than what they thought they were going to get, it might cause some disjointing. So, you know, speaking about all those details ahead of time is important. Laura, how are you feeling about communicating expectations?
I think that the biggest thing is, and Christy's absolutely right. You want to make sure that you have, you have agreed terms, right? We know what everybody's expected to. But that being said, I'm one of those people that's just kind of like I have a habit of winging it. Like, oh, I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do this. But so thinking three things. I think it's making sure, especially when you have a collaboration, that you have the right personalities
Mm.
in that collaboration, right? You want to make sure that the personalities are a good fit, right? Like I'm the kind of sometimes I'm like the wing it girl or the idea girl when it comes to to come to actually doing this stuff. It's like getting down into the details. It's like, oh, that kills me. I don't want to have to deal with the details. That's why I call Christy. Um, you know, and but I will tell you one of the biggest things, and I have found this in our group here, where I'm like thinking high level, right? I'm like, where are we going next? What's happening? And then Christy's like, wait, we need to stop and we need to ask this question. And like she goes down the rabbit hole and I'm like, oh, I never really thought about that.
Yes.
Right. So I think that
So
the
good.
personalities just really have to mesh, and you really need to think about the personalities of, like Christy, I know you understand the disc profile and understanding how the personalities actually work together, right? So really understanding the personality of the other people that you're working with. I have been in situations where I've been in a collaboration where I had to extract myself from it because it was great at the beginning, and then maybe a new personality came in, or someone's true colors started showing up, and I'm like, okay, I'm out. Right? So you really need to understand the other people that you are going into a relationship with, because it really is a collaboration, is a partnership. It is a relationship. You need to understand one another. You need to be willing to commit to the time, the energy, and the work that's required. And if you don't have a deep understanding of what that is, if you're not outlining it, if you're not laying it out, if you don't have an understanding of the scope, it can backfire, and you want to make sure that you really have a deep understanding, um, and a level of trust that that you can confidently move forward with, because you could be together for potentially for years as a connected group.
That's, yeah.
Christy, you raised your
Yeah.
hand. Did you want to throw something in
Wanted to
there?
say something.
Oh man, I feel like, oh, this, we could talk about this for hours. Get it in writing, get everything in writing, because it's not only are you having a centralized repository for all of your ideas, for the schematics of it, for the structure, the outline of it, things are going to change. Look at the four of us and at this endeavor, right? We've each got our own businesses outside of this. We've got our own lives or families. Can you imagine if we didn't have the copious notes and everything organized the way we do? Oh my gosh. And things can change in an instant, and then if we don't document that, so it's about continually revisiting it and updating things and documenting and talking it out and saying, okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear. We're now doing this on this day, correct? And then everybody buys in.
Yep. Yep.
Everybody buys in. And to another thing, to Laura's point is, if you have four, like, I'm a big proponent of the DISC profile assessment. If you have four Ds, if we were all four Ds, we would be those big idea people. And it's like, well, we need some C's who are actually going to be doing the work and get down in the cornfield and count the corn kernels. We can't all be up in the plane, with the big vision. So it's how, what's the balance? And sometimes somebody is going to really shoulder the work, and maybe somebody else in that moment doesn't have as much involvement. And then you go down the path a little bit further, and now that person has more involvement.
Mhm. Yeah. And, I also want to touch upon not only that, but Carolyn, you and I have both experienced where we look at a potential collaboration and we know this isn't going to work out. This is not going to be good. You know, and you still go through with it, sometimes through some obligation, and we're here to give you permission to listen to that gut feeling at the beginning and just kind of go, if this is how I feel now, imagine, because you have to also, in the middle of a collaboration, be able to say yes to possibly having a difficult conversation. And how is that person going to work with you on that? If it's somebody who's going to blow up, and you know, it's all about being kind and
Well,
good and understanding each other. So,
what else too is, like, think about, if I'm not the right collaboration fit for this person, do I know someone who is? And can I get an affiliate commission for connecting them?
you are so good. You were always
I know.
thinking, how can I turn this into a win-win?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
But
there's go ahead, Laura.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to add in here though, you talk about going with your gut, right? There are some opportunities that you just know, right? It really sinks in. And then I think sometimes we have to also make sure that we are checking in with ourselves to really understand, is this something I can commit to now, or can I put it off? right? Because there have been times where people call me up and say, "Oh my gosh, I just really had this great download. I think you and I would be really great partners. There's a project that I'd love for you to weigh in on and be part of, and this is what I'm doing." And I'm like, "That's great. But for the next 90 days, I'm out. I can't, you're going to have to hit me up, next quarter because I've already got everything planned out."
Mhm.
And that gives me time to really consider, right? It gives me time to really consider, is this something new that I can take on? Does it fit into the plan that I already have established? Because me, I'm, that 90-day cycle, the 12-month year, how does it fit into that? Or the 12-week year? How does it fit into that? And sometimes even though your gut's saying, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. We can really do this." You have to make sure that it's the right fit. And it may not be the right fit now. And if it's not the right fit now, it'll be the right fit when the time is right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you might meet somebody that you know something special is going to happen with, but it just can't happen right now. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
all right, ladies. Well, we have gone through finding the right collaborators. We have gone through creating ideas, everything from low energy, which is like affiliate marketing and posting on each other's blogs or being guests on their newsletter, to high energy, webinars, presentations, public speaking, something along what we're creating. And then also how to communicate expectations and having a beautiful, profitable, wonderful collaboration come forth. So we hope that you enjoyed today's podcast. Please join us for the next one. And until then, Laura, how does it go?
It is keep creating, keep connecting, and never stop converting your dreams into reality.
Oh, I don't know how you say it. Bye, everyone.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of CreateConnectConvert.co. We hope you're feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to make your next bold move. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. Head over to CreateConnectConvert.co to download our latest resources, sign up for our upcoming events, or hop on the wait list for our exclusive mastermind community. There's a seat at the table waiting just for you. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to click like and subscribe. We'll see you back here next week to dive into another game-changing conversation. And here's a little something to carry you until then. Keep creating, keep connecting, and never stop converting your dreams into reality.